Hey gang, AV here. Welcome to my review of the Acid Rain Omanga Military Phantom Team B, Parhelion, and Aurora. Here they are in the packaging. Now, unlike the last video I just did with Eclipse and Mirage, Parhelion and Aurora I have not opened yet at all. So this is exactly how I receive it. They come in this just regular plastic bag, taped closed. So just so there's no glare, I will cut that right now. Cut the tape, take the bag out. Here they are. Now, just like the last figure I just reviewed, you have a product chart shot with artwork there, brief description of what's included in the box. And that's about it. There's not really much else to talk about with the box itself. It just says Acid Rain up there. There's not much going on the back. Barcode there. You know, the title of the thing right there again. And warnings on the bottom. So really not much else to talk about with the packaging. It is a box. The box is not taped closed. There is a tray. Figures come in. This is taped closed, however, so I have to cut the tape on this. Yeah, there's tape on 4 sides. And right here. Alright. It's collector friendly, but it's obvious when it's been opened. So put these two guys down there. Let's remove the accessories. This out of here. And this tray here is taped in as well. Let's cut the tape on that. Like that. There we go. Bag in there. Okay, as usual, we're gonna have a look at the accessories first. So take this bar, take this out of here. It's just taped in to the bag there. Just a piece of rubble, just like in the other set. However, this set has some graffiti on it. It says "Free at last, brother" on there. There's some nice weathering on it. It has a nice rock texture to it. There's actually a decent amount of weight to it as well, so it's pretty cool. I am a big fan of these. I can definitely get a lot of use out of the little stuff like this. As a matter of fact, the last video, I actually have those figures still up there from the last video, but I have a little piece of debris that came with them as part of my display now. So this is awesome. Big fan of that. Very cool. Okay, open this up. Much different accessories than with the previous set. Toss that off over there. Looks like a flamethrower. And an extended rifle barrel on this. That's pretty cool, actually. Doesn't close all the way flat, unfortunately. It's still got a little bend in there. But just like the other accessories I reviewed, the barrel is drilled out. I'm not sure how well it's coming across in the camera, but it is drilled out. You can see that. Very cool. That's kind of neat. I do kind of like that. And it does clip closed. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Ooh. Clip closed pretty well. There we go. Alright. Here's the flamethrower and the backpack. As you can see, the hose is very malleable, but it's secure on both the weapon and the backpack. It doesn't feel like it's going to come loose at all. As a matter of fact, there's almost a little bit of stretch there. Some nice painted detail on it. It's got the peg hole there to peg into the back. And it does have a drilled out barrel, which is nice. All right, let's have a look at the figures. Here's this guy. Judging by the box, I would say that this is Aurora. Although don't quote me on that. Again, this is my first real exposure to this line. I'm not familiar with these characters. Very nice sculpt on the helmet, as usual with these Omanga military Phantom Team figures. They have an animal motif, animal horns and antlers on their helmets. This guy is no exception. And he's got the respirator as well. Very nicely sculpted, and it looks like he's got more or less the same exact body and outfit as the other two figures I reviewed previously. So all of the figures in this team more or less are the same. It's just their heads that are different. So as you can see, he's got a soft goods cape, which is split up the middle so that you can actually access the back peg hole without taking the cape off. He's got his shoulder guards that come through the cape, but they are attached separately from the arm. I just couldn't figure it out in the last video without taking the figure apart. He's got his ammo belt there. He's got a pouch here on the back. And some nice armor detail there on the legs. Alright. While I've got the figure in hand, we'll go over the articulation. This articulation should be exactly the same on both figures. So his head will do a full 360. The peg itself is on a hinge, so you should be able to move the head around pretty well. His arm would do a full 360 if not for the cape and this guy's helmet getting in the way, but it would do a full 360 if not for that. You can stick his arm up about that high. He has a bicep swivel, which allows his arm to rotate 360 degrees. He has a double hinged elbow, so he can get his arm bent quite well. He's got a swivel joint here at the wrist. He also has a hinge joint at the wrist so that he can angle his hand up and down. He has a detachable head. He has a crunch here at the torso, which allows for a really good range of motion in all directions. His legs have a very good range of motion on them as well. You just have to be careful with this skirt part of his costume here, part of his tunic. Get that out of the way. His legs have a really good range of motion. You can also do a split, kind of. They do go out a little bit. He has an upper thigh swivel, which allows his leg to rotate 360 degrees. He has double jointed knees, so he can get his heel back quite far. He has a rotation joint just above the ankle. He has ratcheting ankles, so he can point his toe down quite a ways, point his toe up pretty far. And he also has a ankle pivot rocker joint, so he can plant his foot basically no matter where you put his leg, which is awesome. as I said before, articulation on these guys are all the same. The only real difference is the helmet. So that's what we're going to focus on for this guy. Parhelion, I believe, if I'm saying that correctly. Let me open this cape up a little bit. These things, they're very soft and they're well made, but they do shed. I have a few hairs here down here from that are falling off of these things, so just bear in mind they do shed, but it's not that bad, all things considered, because I am handling these pretty rough. So anyhow, there's the sculpt on his head there. I really like this guy. He's got a very skull looking face mask. And he's got the respirator on him as well. Very cool. The antlers are relatively soft. They hold their shape fine, but you're not gonna stab yourself with them, really. All right, let's see how well they can use their weapons here. So, looks like this guy uses this Dirty Harry Gone Wild sword here, or gun here. There is no forward grip, so I'm just gonna have to bend his fingers out a little so that he can hold that. Okay, he can hold it. I wish it would fold out flat, but still, looks pretty cool. Can he get this up in his shoulder, I wonder? So that he can use the scope. Yes he can. Almost. The respirator gets in the way of an actual scope shot, lining it up with his actual eye, but you can make it work from certain angles for your photos and whatnot. Pretty cool looking figure. Alright, now let's get his flamethrower backpack on. Pop his head off. We have to spread out his cape. Should peg right into his back here. Yeah, pegs in nice. Lined up on first try. Good job there. The front of his face actually fits into the neck guard. Not sure if that's intentional or not, but kind of anchors his head in there. No forward grip on this either, so I just bend his fingers out a little bit. Should be able to get his hand up around the gun here. There we go. That's pretty cool. I like that. Very nice. Very awesome. Now, if you're not familiar with Acid Rain figures, and I'll be honest, I'm not that familiar with them either, but for what I understand, they take place in a post-apocalyptic future, paramilitary future. Basically, that's why they have the face masks and everything looks so barren and everything. It's kind of like a Fallout universe, but there's still paramilitary presence. And they're 1/18 scale figures. They're highly articulated, and they're usually kind of expensive. I got these at Big Bad Toy Store because they were on sale. I got the 2-pack here for $30, which basically means that the figures themselves were only about 15 bucks each. And if you're watching my channel, you're familiar with the Boss Fight Studio figures. I mean, that's cheaper than a blank, and you get a fully painted and outfitted figure with accessories. That's a great deal. I do recommend that you check these figures out. Before I go, let me do size comparison before I forget. Here he is next to a vintage collection Star Wars figure, Luke Skywalker. If I can get Luke to stand and cooperate, so I don't waste you fine folks' time. There he is. Here we go next to a vintage era G.I. Joe. Here we go next to a Boss Fight Studio figure. And here is a Marvel Universe figure. So as you can see, these figures will fit in perfectly with the rest of your 1/18 scale as far as size is concerned. They look great. They're going to fit in with your military figures, without a doubt. They may even fit in with your fantasy figures too, with a little bit of modification. Kind of neat to have those antlered helmets, you know. But anyway, just have to get rid of like the respirators and guns. That's all. But anyhow, this has been AV. This has been my review of the Acid Rain Phantom Team B Parhelion and Aurora 2-pack. If you like this video, check out my channel. If you like what you see there, then please subscribe. As always, thanks for watching.